What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's video, where today we will be reviewing the iPad Photoshop drawing experience. Let's jump right in. So the first thing that I do want to say is that if you're just in regular Photoshop for iPad, it doesn't actually show you where your cursor is or where your finger is touching. So when you see a blue dot pop up where my finger is tapping, that's actually a setting that I changed. So this is the general layout as we have it here. This is a gesture controlled system, so pinching in to zoom out, pulling apart to zoom in, pretty intuitive. Getting right into the basics, you do have layer options here in the corner. So if we just close all these tabs, what you'll just be looking at all the time are these. So pull that up, you have the main layer you're on. Here displays all the layers you have. This displays layer properties. So not the most intuitive, definitely could be a little bit more simplified, like you just have one layer tab, but that's fine. So if we jump over here, we've got our brushes. So while you can download brush packs onto Photoshop for the iPad separately, it comes loaded in with these default brushes, which unfortunately aren't actually the brushes that you have in Photoshop. I took some notes, so if you hear rustling of paper, that's what that is. But interestingly enough, while it syncs the Creative Cloud, it does not sync the brushes that you may have downloaded on your Photoshop for desktop, which is a little bit lame. Here's a quirk of the Photoshop for iPad system. You cannot see the size of your brush. So my brush is that size, right? And if I put it on the screen, I can sort of see where it is because I get a blue ring around it. And when I tap on the screen with my finger, I can drag a little puck. But I can't actually see the size or tip of my brush if I don't have that setting enabled. And if I want to say change the size of my brush, the only way I can do that is by coming over here, or clicking fully open into the brush menu. But I can come over here, that's opacity, and change it manually, and I will manually see the size that the brush changes. But I mean, okay, from point 1, which is that, to, we'll come over here and just go there. You don't really have an idea of how much bigger that'll be if you just hover. That's one of the downsides to this application for drawing as opposed to a Procreate, which shows you your brush or cursor size on screen. This one doesn't. The thing that I really wanted to do today before jumping into our illustration is to try out a couple brushes. So while I said earlier that you totally can download separate brush packs and then import them into Photoshop for the iPad just the way you would do it on desktop, today I just want to work with out-of-the-box Photoshop. So besides my one change where you can see my finger puck, everything else is going to be basic. So the way that you guys would get it, I'm using it right now. So let's just test out those brushes. So we tried our soft round, right? We see that one. Okay, let's try some of the others. So we got hard round, very basic. We got our soft round pressure. Maybe we'll just speed run through these. Time lapse. All right, so that is every single brush that comes preloaded onto Photoshop for iPad. We're just gonna click through them really fast. So it's a lot more variety of brushes actually than I expected, especially when we get down to the texture brushes and the watercolor brushes. That's really interesting to me. So definitely, since this app did come out a couple years ago, I think that they've tried to optimize it in the space for digital illustration, although it you know, definitely didn't start out that way. I think they have done a good job of, if you just want to use the base Photoshop, you totally can. You definitely have enough brushes to make a really cool illustration. Next thing I wanted to look at was, turned on too many things, was our smudging brush. So I think one of the big tools that a lot of artists are going to want to look for when they're choosing a drawing software is definitely smudge brushes. Whether you call it a smudge brush or a blending brush, it doesn't really matter. It does the same thing. And I believe you do have one here. It would appear so. So we can change the size of our smudge brush, the strength of it, and the hardness. We also have settings for blend mode, roundness, and angle. So it appears very basic. Just want to get in there. Again, you can start to see where not being able to see your brush is kind of a downturn. So it's very laggy right away. Obviously you can see my brush isn't even on the palette anymore, and my pen is no longer touching the paper, and it's still trying to load in the couple strokes I just did. So yeah, definitely this is rendering on a different engine than, you know, say Procreate is. But I mean, it's certainly, you know, if you're in the mood to wait a minute, it will certainly get the job done. I don't actually know if that will stop if I tell it to, or it'll just keep going until it's finished. Wow, I'm gonna speed this footage up so that you guys don't have to sit through this, but oh my gosh. Okay, so it's done. That took quite a while. I don't know if it's because this is such a high textured brush. I want to sort of try it on a lower texture. Let's just, for science, attempt it here. Brush you use it on. Definitely had a little bit of a harder time with the other one. But yeah, this is definitely not the smoothest experience. So I would say if you're someone that really relies on the smudge tool or blend tool, probably not the best software for you to use. So today we're definitely going to be doing some cell shading. So beyond that, we have a couple more buttons on the side here, but I think we are winding down in our basic review. So why don't I get to actually drawing, and I will see you guys at the end of the video. Yeah, let's go. Speedpaint time, and go.
Don't leave me Blowing kisses to you standing from the window, leaving feelings like a perfume on your pillow. Don't leave me like that, baby, don't you go. Blowing kisses to you standing from the window, leaving feelings like a perfume on your pillow. Don't leave me like that. Baby, it's our time. All we do is fight. Maybe we should call it. I'm just being honest. Baby, it's our time. All we do is fight. Maybe we should call it what it is. Can't hide it. The way that you touch me is exciting. I'm wrapped up and you can't deny it. Can't stop loving you and all the things you do.
Wow, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. Let's wrap this up, why don't we? Alright, here are my final thoughts on Photoshop for iPad. While I think they've done a really great job at optimizing what is essentially a photo editing app for digital illustration, especially on iOS formatting, I do think there are still some kinks to it. For example, the whole thing with the really laggy blending / smudge brush, kind of crazy. Like I said, if you are someone who is really into digital painting and maybe not so much straight digital illustration, it's a really annoying thing to have to cut out of your process, which is, you know, it should work. It should work. Come on, Adobe. You pay $59.99 a month for this service. It should work. I think that the problem with not being able to see the size of your brush as you hover over the canvas, really annoying. When I got into the nitty-gritty of painting and doing lines, it got really frustrating to have to sort of guess what size my brush was, because obviously, like, you set it and you sort of understand what size it is, but you don't have the exact parameters of like when you're gonna hit, you know, maybe one side of your line art, or you're gonna hit outside your line art, or you're gonna hit into another color. And it just became kind of like a nuisance to continually go back and have to just, with a smaller and smaller brush, just hope that you could clean up where you'd spilled over or under, you know, covered it, which is we can optimize this workflow, Adobe, come on. But at the end of the day, I still think that the Photoshop experience in its entirety was a positive one. I had a lot of fun making this drawing. I had a lot of fun using the software, especially when it got into, you know, the specific drop shadows that I used for the end result, which you're gonna see in just a moment, as well as the gradient tools and the, you know, lasso tools. Everything worked. Everything worked really well beyond the smudge brush and, you know, my nitpicking with the visible brush on screen. If you already subscribe to the Adobe Creative Cloud service, definitely look into getting it. And if you don't, you can probably just get by with Procreate or CSP. So thanks for watching, everyone. A little bit of an update. I am moving to a 2 video a month upload schedule. So we're gonna get slightly higher quality content, and maybe a little bit longer content moving forward. But videos are gonna come out now bi-weekly, so 2 videos per month instead of the 4 that we've been doing previously. So I hope you guys look forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to it moving into the summer months. Alrighty, I will let you guys go see the fruits of my labor with the end of my Gwenpool Speedpaint. Have a great rest of your week, day, whatever, when you're watching this. You can subscribe if you want to. That would be really cool. And I will see you guys next time. Peace!